sneaky fast, deceptively quick, all these kind of things, whatever term you want to use that people like to just blanket out there with wide receivers. Go ahead and use it for London Humphreys, because Georgia got another one in the transfer portal from Vanderbilt, a freshman All-American, a guy who hauled in 22 catches, over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns for Vanderbilt this year, one being of the 50-yard variety against Georgia in their game in 2023. Vanderbilt's exciting receiver, yes, an exciting white, as you see with the wine meme that's out there on the internet and on social media and things like that, comes to the University of Georgia. Hello, everyone. I'm Blayne Gilmer. Welcome into SEC Unfiltered, the best SEC entity on the internet. And we're going to be talking here about London Humphreys, and lots of people, just because of his skin color and just because he wears a number in the 80s, are going to compare him to Ladd McConkey. And that's why we want to tell you this is not a good comparison. One, there's only one Ladd McConkey. Do not take for granted what McConkey did at Georgia, or just think, okay, well, it's just a system type thing or something like that. No. Ladd McConkey's special. He showed it at the Senior Bowl. He's going to show it at the draft. He could get drafted late first round, somewhere between late first round all the way to the top of the third round. The guy is going to be a really, really good player in the league, but he's more of a start and stop type player. Okay, Ladd McConkey gets things done with the change of direction. He's a guy that absolutely just, you do not know where he's going as a DB. Okay, he's a guy that you have to be prepared to see him go all over the field, line up outside, line up in the slot. He can be used on reverses, end rounds, all this kind of stuff. And he's also a guy that they would get the ball out quick to in the screen game, let him go, stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying they can't use London Humphreys in the same way, but that's not the strength of London Humphreys' game. It's not the short area quickness. It's not the top of the route that he's going to be able just to devastate people with and things like that in terms of the quickness of getting in and out of cuts. Where London Humphreys is going to be an asset for Georgia, and where he was an asset for Vanderbilt, is that he's going to take off and he's going to run really, really fast, and then he's going to eat up your cushion, and he's going to continue to run really, really fast and run by you, catch the ball, and take it into the end zone. Arian Smith, former Georgia receiver, C.J. Smith, think of a skinnier Ra Thomas type deal, not the same kind of build, but you take about 10 pounds off of him. He's got that same type of height and the speed that can just go eat up someone's cushion and go catch a ball deep. Got over a 40-inch vertical, a guy that runs 10.5, 10.6 in the 100-meter. In the 200-meter at his high school, he broke Jalen Ramsey's record. Okay, so this is a guy who has athleticism in his background. His parents were athletes, track athletes, and now he's going to come to the football field. Has a soccer background, so he's got good feet. But I'm telling you, this guy is more of a straight line, go down the field, deep threat, go up and get the ball type of player. And that's something that Georgia has needed with consistency, right? Because I mentioned Arian Smith. He's a guy that can take the top off of a defense, but he's had problems securing the ball. He's had problems with drops, right? London Humphreys, by all accounts, from what we've seen, asked around, things like that, he's not a guy that's going to drop a lot of footballs. He goes up and he makes plays, and he secures the ball. He's not just that he's catching the wide open passes. You'll go see some of his highlights that a few of those touchdowns, that he had were just of the wide open variety, where the A.J. Swan or one of the Vanderbilt quarterbacks just laid it up there and he was able to catch it, 30, 40 yards down the field with about a 5-6 yard cushion and just run away from the DB. That's great. You need that sometimes. But there was also times where it was a deep over route that he just continued to go and was right in between two defenders, caught the ball, was able to take contact, things of that nature. Listen, if you're listed at 6'3", you're probably not 6'3", okay? He's probably, if you put him out there with no shoes on at a combine setting, something like that, he may be 6'1", something of those along those lines. But London Humphreys is a guy that's going to probably be that high 6'1", maybe 6'2", go out there and, play at 190, 195 pound, maybe 200 when he gets all the pads on. He's absolutely soaking wet. But he's a guy that has track speed. He has to develop a little bit more in terms of the entire route tree. He's not as nuanced in his game as Ladd McConkey. And that's another thing that people don't give credit to Ladd McConkey for, right? This is one of the greatest receivers that's ever played at the University of Georgia. He's in the top, 15 in a lot of statistical categories in Georgia history, and, was a part of a very, very dynamic, a very, very sophisticated offense that Todd Monken had, there, where as a receiver, you have to understand coverage. You have to understand when you're going to make adjustments and things like that. Played with a very cerebral quarterback in Stetson Bennett who really understood the game and understand how to manipulate defenses and stuff like that. So don't put these type of expectations on London Humphrey. One, it's a lazy comparison because not all white receivers are just the exact same in how they play, okay? You can't go out here and compare London Humphreys to Wes Welker or Julian Edelman, okay? Because he's bigger than both of those guys. He's taller, got a different style of game. He's not going to be a slot that is going to go out there and dive down and dig out a forced defender in the run game when he's blocking and things like that, like Edelman would do. And he's not going to be a guy who just can absolutely run an option route better than anybody you've ever seen like Wes Welker. No, he's going to be an ex-receiver, a guy that's going to go out there on the outside, and maybe you use him with some gadget stuff and stuff like that. But he's going to be a guy that says, okay, hey, it's second and short here. Carson, we got a opportunity when we think we're going to get one-on-one out there on the outside. Let's give London a chance to go out and get it right here. And let's take him all the way across the field and just let his speed do the work. And that is what London Humphreys will be for Georgia. So when it comes down to it, like I said, don't put the extra weight, the expectations of what Ladd McConkey did on London Humphreys. Just look at him objectively for what he is. And that is a deep threat. That is a weapon for Georgia to utilize, but he is a different player than Ladd McConkey. Okay. Don't listen. You can take he can still fall into the exciting whites category of the meme because he's going to score some touchdowns. He's going to be a guy over the next 3 years for Georgia because he does have eligibility. Okay. For the next 3 years, he's a guy that is you're going to hear his name called a lot, I predict, in Sanford Stadium and in other stadiums around the country for the Bulldogs. But he's not going to be that guy that it's like third and Ladd. It's not going to be, third down, key down looking for London Humphreys. No, he's not that type of guy, in my opinion. I think Dominic Lovett will be that kind of guy this year for Georgia. I think Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky and Pierce Sperlin and those tight ends over the next few years will be that kind of a guy. But I think London Humphreys is going to be your big play down the field threat. Guys, let us know your comments. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your home for all things Georgia football, all things SEC football, right here on SEC Unfiltered, the best SEC entity on the internet. Thanks so much for tuning in. God bless you. We'll catch you guys next time to talk more SEC football.